Greetings and salutations of peace. I am your brother, the Rastafari, Ital Ayman I, coordinator, the Rastafari Mystery School. This discourse is called Egotistical B.S. Evil is oftentimes ignorance not knowing itself to be so. Ital Ayman I. This video is just pure egotistical BS. The epitome of what's going on out there. Yes, I am. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? The dots you fail to connect, my brother, is that there are things going on beyond your interest and seemingly comprehension. Your interest is not what is truly in the best interest of black people currently. Your social and physical connections cannot pull you out of this hole you have so successfully dug for yourself. Evolution is not wealth. You are not a realized person. You do not realize you yourself are responding to a lower type of self. Right now, it's about soul salvation, redemption, survival of the race from the current coming natural disasters due to the approach of Nibiru and other factors as illustrated in the Holy Scripts and happening worldwide now. It is what's happening in the book of Revelations, Revelation 12. It is Revelation time, which is only 7 months away, September 23rd, 2017. The people don't need to hear about what you're talking about. What you and others like you should be doing is helping to organize the safe fail mechanism. If you don't know what that is, you need to inquire. You're not a black cultural brother, nor are you a black liberator or conscious person. You're doing what you're doing is no better than the brothers in New York, the Serenetas, the Polights and all them, Sarah Sutan Seti, Tommy Sotomayor. You're all alike. You just think you're better educated. It's time you work this grave problem out, brother. It's time we work this grave problem out, brother, very fast. So you need to tell your colleagues we're fixing to become educated and come up and agree on the consensus as to the direction we should go. Where do we go from here? Like Martin Luther King said. And at this time, like Jesus, it's time to turn over the tables. We have become sick and tired of your technology, your buffoonery, your so-called education. I have the data to back up what I am saying. I have the data to back up my theorem. I have the intel to back up what I will be saying to you. For all you sissies claiming to be black men, if you are a real black man, don your suits, don your tie, and your socks. Step up. It's real business time, brothers. I am the coordinator, your brother, Ital Ayman I. Where are our men of big affairs? You sit behind your microphones and you talk proudly with your many egos. You are not saying anything. We are living in the end days, my brother. The elders can no longer sit and tolerate your ignorance. It's time we come to the true consensus, my brother. You're going to have to just shut the hell up. And this is not only for you, it is for all of you. You think you're big and bad? Knowledge have always been our power. Knowledge is still our power. Did you think that we would sit by forever and allow you to lead our people astray? We are in the end times, my brother. It's time for us to come together for real. We're not going to leave out of this meeting with some kind of feel-good sensation from listening to you say nothing, bragging about making money, bragging about being in the presence of other black men with money. You're no better than anybody else. You're actually worse. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call the Holy Master Blaster jamming.
All right. Peace and blessings to Safo, the Honorable One, the Success Scholar, Haki Shakur, me here. Thank you for tuning in, listening in. Absolutely, that's right. It's time. Friday evening, afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm feeling good. Absolutely. Why am I feeling good? Why am I feeling good and talking about how bad I am? Well, several reasons. First, but I'll just say shout out to Dr. Randall Pickett. I was watching a clip of Dr. Randall Pickett, and sometimes, this is why we study great people. This is why we study smart people, and we have, when I say we, I mean success scholars. We listen to, we have a broad audience of not just coaches and mentors. I mean, sometimes we connect to people that can give us just this one nugget. I was listening to Dr. Randall Pickett, and he talked about innovation and failing fast. He said, failing slow is just failing, or something to that effect. But failing fast and learning from that. Now, I've been quite slow for some time on different levels, and I've recently had different levels of inspiration. Now, I wasn't Forrest Gump like slow, but I realized that, and I wasn't intentionally slow. It was just my environment, various environmental forces. And so with that, I had opportunities that sometimes I think back, and sometimes I think, how did I end up in this position where I should feel like that I should be further along? And I know some of you may feel the same way within your life. You may feel that you deserve more, and what's going on with you. And I'm going to tell you some of the things that may be going on. One critical thing is you have to define your standards. People are not going to treat you. You're going to teach people how to treat you, how to respect you. And as one famous person said, put some respect on it. I ain't gonna say his name because I don't deal with rappers like that. But we have to really understand our true value. And I just had some recent experiences that that made me open up in terms of knowing who I am and how I value my time. Write that down. Value your time. People, if you don't value your time, other people won't value your time. Now, you have to be able to assess your value. And of course, yes, you're going to have to assess people in your life that you spend that time with. And you got to begin to conduct yourself like a CEO, like a black CEO. And shout out to the black CEO groups out there, the black CEO group. What I wanted to really get into is how recently, and that's what I was saying, how recently I had some experiences where I had to really stand up for myself. I really had to realize that not everybody that are in your circle are totally for you, in your space. They're not rooting for you. And sometimes you have to have that power of discernment to know what truly is it. Of course, and I always, assess yourself, assess who you are. Like, am I really treating people fairly? Am I treating people, good nature's intent, having good intentions with dealing with individuals? Or are people really feeling like they're not a part of your team? So this is a kind of like a leadership strategy in terms of knowing who's actually on board with your goals and objectives. So I just recently discovered, for instance, that sometimes individuals are going to, although they're around you and they may, kind of cheer for you a little bit, but you really have to, especially as you continue to go higher and higher, you're going to have a very, very powerful sense of discernment. And it can't be based upon no childlike thoughts or how, people you're going to have to be very serious about that. So, as I said, I just had a recent experience where unexpected, sometimes these different, shall I say, people will come out of the woodwork and show you who they are. But I recently had an experience where someone was speaking about, what I've done with the book, and they were speaking like very, just I'd say stupidly, just really, and it wasn't even about, because I don't go around, yeah, I'm in this book. No, I don't necessarily rely on one book, I don't rely on the fact that I've been in this book with these gentlemen, these good brothers, these super successful individuals as my only defining achievement or accomplishment in life. Just living first and foremost, and coming up and surviving and still having good sense and looking halfway decent. Having a good literacy skill, having good health, not having a bunch of baby mamas all over the planet, and various levels of divorces, and never had any STDs, never got any woman pregnant, and don't have any no felonies, no, I don't even have no points, no driving points, no problems occupationally, honorably discharged. So I have several things actually that I absolutely know that I could suggest to different people. But, individuals are going to feel a certain way, and I don't want to dwell. I'm not going to dwell necessarily on this particular individual like that because, again, but I just want to be real with some of you because some people are going to choose to remain in slavery. People, it may be your family, maybe your friends, maybe your co-workers or your slow workers. They are going to choose to say, you know what? We see what you're doing, brother. We may not be right there with you, but we believe in you. We see what you're doing, and hopefully, come back and support us within the community. And that's how you can tell sincere people, and that's why I appreciate readers. Readers are thinkers. Readers are not necessarily worried about. Readers are not necessarily worried about being petty, right? And that's why I appreciate Sister Pat, various types of network marketing, because you learn how to be a part of an organization, and you learn how to be genuinely supportive. You learn how to truly support individuals in their goals and in their objectives, and you generally want success for the next individual. You can train yourself to do that, but if you do not have a culture, if you grow up and you do not have a culture of mutual support, of mutual success, and you just winging it, you're just working a job, you're just living, you're not living by any principles, any values, any spiritual traditions, you just are responding based upon, a lower type of self, huh? And this is what, we mean by the higher self and the lower self. So with that being said, I've had to truly transform rather recently and realize that, after you continue to show up at enough conferences, show up at enough workshops and put in the time and effort and talent, or to, get the necessary talent, that you certainly should be rewarded. Now, it doesn't always work like that. I'll just be real and say that sometimes, you're going to have these different blockers out here, these different forces for whatever reason that you're going to have to overcome. And this is why that A, B, and C plan, that SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, as well as time management and leveling up. That means connecting to individuals that are more knowledgeable, more have more resources, more income, well-read, as well as healthier people, individuals that are going to be around, individuals that care about life, care about living, and care about progressing. And that's where, I recently went to the African American History Museum. So I want to tell everybody, encourage everybody to go there, because many of the solutions certainly are laid out. You can see what individuals have done at a particular time in history, and everything is laid out. So you have to, I'm sorry, someone just tried to call and get in here. You can go there and learn exactly what direction to take and what actions to take. And so I was just very, very impressed by that. But I am very, very excited, actually, over what's getting ready to happen over the next few weeks. And I'm going to continue to level up. Several things are happening, certainly in the DC area, as you all, if you're paying attention, the film gentrified. And I think that that's very critical. And you know what's interesting? And I'm going back because maybe last year or 2 years ago, 2016 actually, I did some film screenings, one in Bowie and one in Baltimore at the Great Blacks and Wax. And you know, I don't browbeat people to come out to different events, or you know, I'm very respectful and diplomatic, but there are some things that adults, grown adult people that you know have resources should be aware of, or attempt to be aware of. So when I do, for instance, a film screening of 7 a.m. and it has Donald Peebles in it, a gentleman whose net worth of $700 million in the real estate industry. It's like, if you broker, meaning if you have less than $700 million, I'm not saying that you got to come and see the film right with me. No, but I'm saying the least, particularly for those that were in my circle, my brothers, if you will, you definitely should have promoted it or encouraged other individuals to do it. But look, because I got a few ways to get rich. So if people thought that before, years ago, some folk thought that I was getting rich, for instance, off of those little lectures that we were doing how many years ago was that? 7 years ago? Like, really? You think that that's like something? And I still had a closed mind about some things at that time. But, sorry, I'm drinking this juice. But today, for instance, when I did that screening, and I thought that, you know, that some people certainly, and, you know, one brother did come, that some individuals certainly should have come out, or at least inquire. I'm like, man, you 35, 40 years old, and you're not even curious? Really? So this is what I mean by individuals that still have a slave mentality. They walking around looking good, you know, suit and ties, just ignorant in their mind. Just ignorant and failing to connect the dots about different grown-up things that we need to do right now, that we need to do for ourselves, the people that we need to familiarize ourselves with. So I'm saying, not that I'm trying to direct people towards those leaders that I like, but at this time, you know, many folk like the athletes. They like watching Michael Jordan play and talk about Beyonce's money and Jay-Z's money. Well, I want to talk about Don Peebles' money, how he made his money in real estate, how he came up through the ranks of DC government, and Marion Barry put him in position. So I'm saying, if I brought that film to Baltimore, and I even promoted it, both on the Baltimore station as well as the DC station, and it wasn't too much extreme cost. So, you know, I'm just saying that sometimes people are, you know, really still captured. And you know, some years ago, I may have been still avoiding certain things, avoiding certain people, not familiarizing myself, not leveling up. So I'm not here to condemn individuals, and people shouldn't take it that way, because again, some years ago, I had although I was reading all these books and reading wealth books, I wasn't totally evolved. I wasn't totally evolved in terms of making the time adjustments and the sacrifices that are needed to be in a position to go up to the next level, if that's making any sense. And so, with that being said, I'm saying that some amazing things are happening. Some really, really powerful things. And, I'm very confident. I'm connecting to the real success scholars and scholars in different fields. And see, that's another thing that I have to say. Why am I bringing, things, or shall I say, why am I guess, all over the place on some levels? Well, I have different interests. And as a success scholar, which I'm encouraging everyone to become, I've fine-tuned my system to be such an asset and so valuable to the right people, the intelligent people that want to live like this. For instance, let me shout out my sister Boomy. I'm sitting here taking this O2. Let me take another one. I just feel pumped. I need some O2 drops, and I don't get paid for this. This Nutra Burst. Taking a little bit of that to build my energy, to stay healthy, to live, to ensure that I am staying nutritionally whole. So, with that being said, again, we have to understand that we can't stay still. And there are certain forces that are in play that's going to position people for more and more poverty. That's the game. That's the game, the war against the rich versus the poor. And you have to ask yourself a question like, are you going to be a victor or a victim? Are you going to go on the offensive, or are you going to continue to be defensive and you're going to go down in slavery? And so individuals are going to have to make a decision. I've chosen my team, and and I have made those initial connections to those that have tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, and those that have close to $1 billion. And so I think that in the not so distant future, these people will I'm gonna say it, they're gonna wise up, because I'm not gonna have it any other way. I'm not gonna be deterred. And just like this book says, I am unstoppable. Absolutely. Get it through your mind. Tag a hater, completely unstoppable. And a unique thing about that with proper use will continue to make me completely unstoppable for as long as I live. All right? It's done. You can put it in the books. It's done. And so everybody else, the coaches, superstar coaches out here, I know the absolute value of this. I paid my money. I signed up. I raised my hand. First power networking conference that I went to. Absolutely. And you know what? I got enough sense to know how to work this and the other projects that's going to be coming out. And so that what that means for me is options, meaning multi-million dollar options. All right. So that's just how it's going to be. That's where I am. I have the knowledge and the skills, the team, the allies in place to make it happen. And more people are waking up to that reality. And so I say today that, again, continue to be on the right side of history, continue to read, continue to study, go to workshops. I had to really kind of encourage people to go to the museum in DC. I mean, that museum is like amazing. And you got one brother like that said, people, man, all they got is sports and athletes. I'm like, did you go downstairs? Like, I mean, yeah, that's a part of it, but they had a lot of other things there. So don't just shoot something down because you weren't a part of it. I'm like, I mean, you can become who you want to become by, connecting those dots and familiarizing yourself with these different individuals. So I think that, it's a transformational thing to actually go and take your children to museums instead of to some movies to see Barney. I don't know what kind of cartoons and movies that are out here today, but again, I'm not gonna dwell too much, but I have some things coming up here. We got the film Gentrified and the debate of the decade coming, but also towards March, we do have space. We're going to be having some workshops here. We got working on one of the co-authors, Sister Daphne, come into the Maryland area, and we would like for you, the smart people, the smart individuals that are progressive and well-rounded and holistic and empowered, wealth conscious individuals to stay connected to what's going on. We making power moves. Just left the NNPA conference in Fort Lauderdale. That was just an awesome, awesome time. Made the right connections there. The seeds were planted, and I know what's going to happen over the next few weeks and next few months. I'm gonna raise up the bar to another level. I'm gonna raise up the bar to another level and assert the brand that has already been established. Certainly, and I can absolutely say without a doubt that from in the Maryland DMV area, certainly my mark has been made more than anyone else. Period. From a real wealth building perspective, I've absolutely made my mark. I've given dozens, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people the opportunity to awaken. And I must say, even for instance, in Baltimore, let me go from Prince George's County to Baltimore. I can say for sure that I've done more for the transformation of Baltimore than anyone in Baltimore's history. Absolutely, without question at this particular time. Giving people the options. But what do people do? They still remain in poverty, still remaining using various substances, and just really truly being a failure. And so I'm saying I'm not going to keep running behind trying to drag people to freedom? Absolutely not. I got places to go that I need to prepare myself for. I plan to be here on this planet for as long as I possibly can. So I'm going to continue to nurture my body, nurture my cells so that I can live a long and progressive life. And that's important. I know that your coaches aren't, dealing with those topics and just want to talk about making money, but doing different types of business things. But, we need to live. And this is why, fortunately, I've been blessed enough to be around some healthy people that planted seeds, and not suggesting that all that I do is perfect, but I'll say that, you got to take your Maltese. You got to take your Maltese. You got to get your massages. You got to get out into some sun. You got to drink water, alkaline water preferably, and get a decent amount of sleep. 6 to 8 hours. I mean, some people will tell you sleep is overrated. Okay. Yes. No. Let's just be real about it. You should certainly get a proper, decent amount of sleep. All right. Don't let people kill you. Don't let people put you in a position where you busted your tail like a slave and you're so exhausted that you dehydrated and all kind of other non-balanced things in life. And I know that society can be a little draining and oppressive, that you're not focused, you have different aspects of your life to build upon. And my objective is not to just be a pusher for people to make money, because again, I see some individuals that talk about money and they'll on the same topic money, they'll tell you, yeah, we're gonna make some money to get some diamonds, and I want to say some blood diamonds, a worthless piece of rock, and you trying to get to $500,000 or $250,000 so you can buy a rock. Go and look at the video. Diamonds. Wait a minute. What is it called? The False History of Diamonds, or something to that effect. It talks about how Hollywood created this false narrative. So you have people out here that don't even spend any money on, healing themselves, getting massages or just getting fresh air, but they have these expensive rocks or furs on and they're dying. They have diabetes and, various types of cancer. They haven't invested in themselves, in their body, in their nutrition, in their healing, overall healing. And let me just say, healing is not about some of these gurus that want to give you a pet rock and rub your shoulders and charge you $2,500 for a weekend getaway. Of course, people can make you feel good, of course, but you gotta watch for that too. Like the healing, holistic healing, and the teachings have to increase your overall life. And so that's all I have to say to that today. Again, had some recent experiences where I had to kind of just level up, flex up, just take things to another level with myself and with all of my allies. So I say today, I'm absolutely winning. I've done tremendous work all around the Maryland area. Let me shout everybody out: Naisha, Antoine, Patricia, and Julie, Sister Caramel Queen T, and Sister Nisi. So thank you all for tuning in. I had to drop some things, but things are happening, moving forward, making progressive moves, stepping up, and fine-tuning the analysis, the plan, the strategy. I'm going on another level. There's no question in my mind. All forces are in place. All forces are in place to level up and go to another level. So I'm just excited about the momentum that's being built. And again, we have a space, a nice office space in the Maryland area, Baltimore area, close to the Reginald F. Lewis Museum. And so I say, continue to check me out. Holler at the Success Scholar. I'm on eLife Media each and every Monday. You can check out some of my shows, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna get ready to listen to some radio programs and do some more knowledge. All right, talk to you all. Peace, Sister Pamela Jolly. Hello, Nisi. I'm out. Peace out.